The morning sun rose over the vast American prairie like a golden lantern, spilling light across miles of waving grass and whispering wind. The land stretched endlessly in every direction, silent yet alive, wild, untamed, and waiting. It was the spring of 1846, and the great migration westward had begun. Among the many wagons creaking slowly across the open plains was one small, white covered wagon that belonged to the Benton family, and within it sat a curious, wide eyed girl named Clara Benton, only 10 years old. Clara was small, her cheeks sun warmed and freckled, her brown hair tucked neatly beneath a cotton bonnet that tied under her chin. Her eyes were the color of the clear morning sky, bright, eager, and full of questions. For her, the Oregon Trail was not just a road to a new home. It was a land of mystery and wonder, a place where each sunrise promised something new. She had spent the last weeks pressed against the wagon's canvas, watching the world transform from the familiar farms of Missouri to this endless sea of grass that seemed to breathe with the wind. The Benton family had left their small farm in Missouri weeks ago, joining a wagon train bound for Oregon, a journey of over 2,000 miles. Her father, John Benton, was a strong man with quiet determination in his eyes and calloused hands that could mend a broken wheel or calm a frightened ox. Her mother, Margaret Benton, gentle but firm, carried faith as steady as the river's flow, her voice a constant comfort during the long, uncertain days. And then there was Tommy, Clara's little brother, 5 years old, lively and endlessly curious, always asking questions that made Clara laugh or think in new ways. The family's wagon rolled forward, creaking under the weight of flour, dried meat, blankets, tools, seeds for planting, and hope, so much hope it seemed to fill every corner. The oxen's hooves pressed deep into the soft earth as the line of wagons snaked across the open prairie like a long, slow river of canvas and wood. All around the land seemed endless. Skies so wide they swallowed everything beneath them, grass tall enough to brush the wagon wheels, and the distant hum of the unknown calling them forward with invisible hands. As the wagons moved on, Clara's father walked beside the team, calling softly to the oxen with words of encouragement. Her mother hummed a tune from home, her hands never still as she mended a torn shirt or prepared dried fruit for the midday meal. Clara leaned out of the wagon flap and whispered to Tommy, who sat beside her clutching his wooden horse, "It looks like the land never ends." Her father smiled without looking back, his eyes fixed on the horizon. "That's America, sweetheart, wide and wild. But every mile we walk brings us closer to something new, if we're brave enough to reach it." And so began Clara's great adventure, one that would test her courage, teach her kindness, and show her the true meaning of hope. Days melted into weeks as the wagons rolled across the plains. The trail was alive with life, prairie dogs chirping from burrows, standing on hind legs to watch the strange parade pass by. Great herds of buffalo thundering across the horizon in clouds of dust that turned the sky brown. And rivers glimmering like silver ribbons under the sun, their waters cold and clear. Clara loved the sound of the trail, the creak of wagon wheels turning endlessly, the soft crack of whips urging tired oxen forward, and the gentle murmur of people singing to keep their spirits high. She collected wildflowers when they stopped to rest, pressing them carefully between the pages of her mother's Bible. She whispered stories to her doll at night, tales of brave pioneers and magical lands, and watched the stars as they flickered above her like campfire embers scattered across black velvet. But the trail was not all wonder. It soon became a place of hardship and trial. One afternoon, dark clouds rolled over the sky like great grey fists. Heavy and menacing, the wind began to howl, whipping the canvas covers until they snapped and billowed like sails. Thunder cracked across the plains like the roar of a giant awakening from sleep. The wagons shook beneath the storm's force, and rain fell in torrents, turning the world into sheets of water. Clara's mother shouted, "Hold tight, children!" As the oxen bellowed in fear and lightning flashed in jagged spears across the sky, illuminating everything in brief, terrible brightness. Clara clutched Tommy close, her heart pounding against her ribs like a frightened bird. The world outside was wild and terrible, but she remembered her father's words, "Be brave no matter what comes." When the storm passed, leaving only the drip of water and the smell of rain-soaked earth, the wagons were soaked through, the firewood ruined and floating in puddles, and the ground a sea of thick, clinging mud that sucked at wheels and feet. Yet no one gave up. The men worked together to pull stuck wagons free, their shoulders pressed against wooden spokes, their voices rising in unified effort. The women shared what dry food they had left: hardtack biscuits, strips of dried beef, anything to fill empty stomachs. Clara, her hands trembling from cold and exhaustion, helped gather twigs and dried grass from beneath sheltered rocks for a new fire. Though small and afraid, she felt something growing inside her, a quiet, glowing strength she hadn't known existed. That night, as stars returned to the sky and the clouds rolled away to reveal a moon bright as a silver coin, Clara lay wrapped in a damp blanket, listening to the crackle of the rekindled fire. She whispered to Tommy, who was already half asleep, "We made it through, didn't we?" He nodded sleepily, and she smiled, feeling older somehow. She had learned her first great lesson, that courage wasn't about being fearless, but about facing fear with hope and moving forward anyway. The journey grew harder as the weeks went on. The land changed, from green prairies to rocky hills that made the wagons lurch and groan, then to wide rivers that had to be forded and dusty plains where water was scarce and precious. Every day brought new challenges that tested not just their bodies but their spirits. One morning, the wagon train reached a broad river. Its waters churned and foamed, cold and swift, fed by mountain snows far upstream. To cross meant danger, but to stay meant failure and starvation. Clara stood on the riverbank, her small hand gripping her mother's skirt, feeling the spray of mist on her face. "Will we sink?" Tommy asked, eyes wide with fear. Clara took his hand in hers and squeezed it gently. "No," she whispered, trying to sound more certain than she felt. "We'll make it. We always do." The wagons began to roll into the water one by one. The oxen strained against the current, their muscles rippling under wet hides. Wheels slipped and splashed, throwing up arcs of white foam. The water rose higher to the spokes, then the sides, then dangerously close to the wagon beds where families huddled. Then, with a sickening jolt, one wagon tilted dangerously to one side. Cries filled the air, sharp, frightened voices calling for help. Clara's heart pounded as she watched her father wade into the icy current without hesitation, ropes in hand, his face set with determination. He shouted orders and other men rushed to help, forming a human chain against the river's power. Together, they pushed and pulled until the wagon found solid ground again, water streaming from its sides. Finally, the last wagon rolled out onto the far shore, dripping but safe. The people cheered, their voices hoarse but joyful. Laughter broke through exhaustion like sunlight through clouds. Families embraced, thankful just to be alive, to have survived another test. Clara's cheeks were wet with tears, but her smile was bright as morning. She understood then that bravery wasn't just in men who lifted wagons or faced storms, it was in every heart that refused to give up, in every hand that reached out to help another. That night, they camped beneath a grove of cottonwood trees whose leaves whispered secrets in the evening breeze. The air was sweet with the smell of river water and wildflowers that grew in clusters along the bank. Fires flickered like small orange stars, and families cooked simple meals: beans simmered in iron pots, corn cakes fried on flat stones, and coffee boiled black and strong. As the Bentons prepared to eat, a nearby family approached slowly, their faces drawn with worry. Their wagon had tipped during the crossing, and much of their food had been swept away by the greedy current. Without hesitation, Clara's mother took half their flour and sugar and handed it to them with a warm smile. Clara looked at her in surprise, her stomach already growling with hunger. "But, Mama, won't we run out?" Her mother smiled and touched her cheek with gentle fingers. "Kindness never runs out, my dear. When we share, we make the world lighter for them and for us. We carry less in our hands but more in our hearts." Clara watched as the grateful family thanked her mother with tears streaming down their weathered faces. That night, laughter echoed through the camp, rising into the starlit sky. People sang old songs from their childhood, traded stories of the homes they'd left behind and the dreams they carried forward, and forgot for a while how hard the trail had been. Clara sat close to the fire, feeling warmth not just from the flames but from something deeper, the warmth of compassion, of community, of people bound together by shared struggle and hope. Months passed like pages turning in a great book. The trail carried them through deserts of blinding dust where the sun beat down like a hammer and water was measured in careful sips. Across snow-capped mountains where the air grew thin and cold and the path became treacherous with loose stones, and into green valleys filled with promise where wildflowers bloomed and streams ran clear. The journey had changed them all. It had worn down their shoes to nothing, tested their strength until they discovered reserves they never knew existed, and deepened their faith in ways that words could not express. Finally, one bright morning when the air smelled of pine and possibility, Clara awoke to her father's voice calling, "Come look, everyone, come see." She climbed from the wagon, her feet hitting the ground with eager energy, and gasped. Before her stretched a valley so beautiful it took her breath away. Rolling green fields that seemed to glow in the morning light, clear rivers winding like ribbons of crystal, and forests thick with pine that climbed the mountainsides. The air was cool and sweet, filled with birdsong and the rustle of new life. Her father's voice was soft with awe, thick with emotion. "This is Oregon. This is home." Clara's heart swelled with pride and relief so powerful it brought tears to her eyes. She took Tommy's hand, and together they ran down the hill through the tall grass, laughing with pure joy, their voices ringing out across the valley. Every mile, every hardship, every tear had led them here to this moment of arrival. As they looked across their new land, Clara understood the trail's true lesson, that courage, kindness, and hope can turn even the hardest journey into something beautiful, something worth remembering forever. True courage isn't found in strength alone, but in the heart that keeps beating with love and determination. Clara learned that bravery means facing fear with faith, kindness means giving even when you have little, and hope means believing in a brighter tomorrow no matter how long or hard the trail may be.